ringside and shit. But what people got to realize too is Eddie, Bud, and Turkey and them, they flew directly from New York City to Saudi Arabia. That's over a 12-hour flight. And then it's 7 in the morning in Riyadh. It's 10 at night, 10, 11 o'clock at night. In America, travel where you out. So he wasn't falling asleep because, per se, the fight was boring. That might have a small thing to do with it. He was falling asleep because of all that damn travel they was doing. So one of the things I thought was cool was that Canelo got a ring belt that was made out of real gold. So I like the fact that, you know, hopefully the ring belts are made out of real leather, real gold, and it means something to prestige. Maybe once you make, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 title defenses, or a few title defenses of the ring belt, or maybe they show, you know, I don't know how they gonna do it, or you want undisputed, you get a real gold ring belt or something. I think that would be dope. Or some criteria about getting a real belt. And most of those belts are just pleather and plastic. So I know people was like, well, Scull can do that, you know, Bud athleticism might be too much. The question about it is how's Bud athleticism gonna be moving the ring with the extra weight on? That's the question. You know, William Scull did a lot of moving. You know, his father was talking about how Conor Ben had stopped him in the gym and Scull just was tired. Like I said, that's the gym. You know, Scull, you know, he probably trained early in the morning. He might have did some groundwork, some floor work in the gym. And then he might as well just sparred and Conor Ben sparring like this is for a gold medal. He just working. So like I said, you never know physically where somebody at in training camp, where the weight cut could be killing you, where, you know, it's a lot of things that can be killing you in camp. You could be on a 2-a-day. You know, you could be on a 2-a-day. You know, so he looked his great condition in a move like that all night. And Canelo was hitting him with them vicious body blows. Yeah, you know, Scull was a big dude. Crawford got longer arms. Crawford seemed a little bit taller. People say Crawford looked bigger. Looks can be deceiving, bro. I could be bigger than you, but you could be stronger than me. So what is bigger? Is muscle? Is it swing muscle? Is it fast twitch? Is it fat? You know, what type of muscle is it? He's not bigger than Canelo naturally. How's his punches gonna come off with the extra weight? And with the time, instead of having a tune-up, what they doing is they probably testing his blood, testing with the protein, like what do you need? They're trying to make him as efficient as possible. He may be training with a weight vest on, you know, to get acclimated with the extra weight, but that's probably pre-training camp shit. You training with the extra weight being on. Because you're gonna burn a lot of weight with that weight vest on, more weight. You're just gonna put it back on camp. You're just getting used to the weight. You might use ankle weights even though they build fluid in the leg, in the knees. But you probably just trying to use that, mimic you putting on that weight in the fight. Everything they trying to do is mimic what they want to do for the fight. Extra weighted hand weights. You know, sometimes you put the ankle weights on the wrist, Zab you to do that to keep the hand speed going. You want to mimic as much as having extra weight that you're going to have on fight night. He come in 164, 163, 165, whatever it may be, 160. You might want to rehydrate to 170. You want to practice having that extra, you know, what from his last fight, extra 16 pounds. You want to mimic that in your pre-camp. Whether it's whatever you do, running miles, hitting the bag, doing the mid-work, definitely running. You want to mimic all that conditioning with his had an extra weight. So by the time you get to camp, you moving a little loose. You kind of seen it in Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z in there, how they train with the weighted the clothes on, and they take it off. It's light. They train in high gravity. They go to regular gravity. They faster. So whatever you're doing, running on the treadmill, elliptical work, Stairmaster work, you know, strength work, conditioning work, you know, whether it's floor work in the gym, you sit-ups, you hitting the bag, getting the speed bag, you know, you doing your pet, you're trying to mimic that, you try to mimic having that extra weight on. Well, training camp come when it's time to really get to that weight, you know, that you need to get at, then it's a little bit simpler. So big, he might appear to be bigger, but that means he more stronger and durable and more acclimated to the weight. That's what people don't understand. So we kind of was having that conversation about ostarine and performance enhancing drugs and all that type of stuff. We was having that conversation, and a lot of people in boxing and or the media and some of the boxing people, they're oblivious or they act like they're oblivious to the benefits of having all that shit in your system. And I know because I've been around bodybuilders. I've been around niggas that did a prison bid and came and became, and working out and all that stuff, man. That's why I tell y'all, tuna, sardines, all that shit is important. You got, y'all be thinking like, oh man, it can't, man, please. It's a huge advantage. It's a huge advantage. Recovery is recovery. So, but yeah, I seen it. Canelo's still a stronger guy. Are there some concerns with me believing Canelo probably gonna win by knockout? Yeah, I got some concerns. And I'm pulling for Bud, but I'm talking from a realist standpoint of view, right? He load up on his shots too much. So really, when you talking about putting that weight on, we talking about putting weight in the legs. Canelo like to hit the arm. So what we got to do, we got to put muscle a little bit everywhere. We got to get ready for the bumping. We got to get ready for the physicality of a fight. I cannot be a puncher, but I could be strong. You know what I'm saying? Kind of catch my drift. And I'm looking for my do-rag, and I cannot find my do-rag nowhere. This is insanity. I don't know what I did with my do-rag. I feel like I took it off before I went into Walmart. I don't know. But yeah. The physical strength of it. So how is he going? I mean, probably naturally, if Bud was a civilian, he'd probably walk around by 180, 190. So, and I'm pretty sure he got a smart team, Victor Conti. This is what we're gonna eat. This is what we're gonna take. This is how you need to do it the most efficient way. But just the grind of the punches and him moving forward, and really you working on everything. Mental strength, mental is something that's mental and focus. You understand? They got stuff to help you with focus, and then that you take to help you with focus in the gym. So really worried about the grind, the hitting on the hips, the hitting on the arms, the physicality. You combat that with what? Feints. And Bud got the right mentality. I heard him talking about fighting bigger guys. You got to go out there and get respect. So you got to go out there and land something that's going to hurt him. But really it's about feints, freezing Canelo, and not just freezing him. Scull did a great job of freezing him and offsetting him, but you have to capitalize on freezing him and offsetting him. How do you capitalize on freezing him and offsetting him? You got to make him pay. I know people love the pop shot, but man, pop shot, you got to make him pay. 2-3 shots. That's what I be training for, 2-3 shots. I ain't looking for you to turn them over viciously. I'm just pop, 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 and sliding out of there. I'll be studying everything Floyd did. Floyd was standing in front of that man's face, and that man couldn't touch Floyd. Everything Floyd was doing, I'll be studying. The feints, the touching him, going under his guard, going around his guard. When he punched, I'm moving off the mark. I'm turning him. I'm going again. I'll be studying that tape to a T. That's how you beat him. Bivol beat him with a strong leverage. He had a strong base. He was able to control Canelo with his base and with his jab, with his straight shots, and with his speed. He kept him at the end of his punches. Canelo tried to slip and engage. He couldn't. I think if Canelo tried to slip and engage and I'm Bud, I think I'd maybe do a little bit something different than Mayweather did. He tried to slip, I'm gonna touch that. I'm gonna touch him with that body shot. Bud goes righty lefty. That'll be another problem. But I just think the brute strength of Canelo, the power of Canelo, the strength of Canelo, it's just too much, bro. Too much to ask a man. He got time to move up, but moving up and training and sparring and actually moving up and fighting guys, fighting the guy in a real fight. In the first, every round is gonna be critical to Bud. And apparently Dana White is promoting it. It'll be promoted under TKO. So Dana White is actually going to be promoting this show. So that was realized afterwards. Dana White is going to promote the show. TKO Boxing first event. So very, very interesting. In Las Vegas on Friday. Now it's on Friday because UNLV got a football game at Allegiant Stadium. Now Kobe was saying that it's $3 million up front for, to be in that stadium in Allegiant Stadium. So, that's why you probably ain't seen any other boxing events there. It's $3 million just for us to use your stadium. It's crazy. So you gotta understand. I don't think they under the MGM family of shit in Vegas neither. So I've seen the stadium, but I've never been inside the stadium. So there's some little things right there. But Bud got an uphill battle. I really don't think people understand anatomy, bro. Now you got some guys that's special. You got some guys that's special. Roberto Duran was one of those guys who went blow for blow with Marvin Hagler. I think he upset Iran Barkley at 160. He had the skill. He had the the mindset. He can move up the right way. He was naturally a bigger guy that was just able to squeeze down. So you got to have the mentality. You got to make sure everything is to a T physically. So don't forget that. But hey, appreciate y'all. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live and drop video. Hit the link in the description. Follow me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Amazon, Kick, Twitch. Appreciate the love and support. Check out the Box News playlist. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Peace.